As the rain falls outside, we have no choice but to accept that winter is turning into spring. And although we have no choice about that, about the seasons change, we do have a choice about what we do and how we handle it. So let's talk about that today on the Ski Rex Media Podcast. Everybody, Tim from Ski Rex Media once again. And yes, we are going to talk about the seasons changing. We'll get to that in a second. But first, I have to give a shout out to a few people. Rob from Twitter, Eric from Twitter, Alyssa from Twitter. You know who you all are. And these are the first bunch of people who have started diving into the old Ski Rex Media merch shop. So I want to thank you for that. That was actually going to just be a secondary thing. Maybe someone will pick something up, maybe they won't. And they've been picking up a couple of things. There's been shirts going out and stickers and magnets and hoodies. I think Rob has like 3 of them. It's awesome. So thank you for that, guys. I know 2 of you listen to the show regularly. I know that the third one, I don't know if she does. She might, I don't know. But today, since we are actually here to do the podcast, or since I am actually here to do the podcast for you, I guess we is acceptable there. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But today we're talking about the seasons changing. Yes, spring has come early to the east, and specifically the northeast. Is it going to stay spring? That I don't know. I don't know. It could just snow out of nowhere. The day before the first day of spring, it could snow 4 feet. We never know. But it is unlikely. So that's been a big part of a big topic of conversation on Ski Rex Media. It's been a big, topic here around in the area because you have 2 types of people around here. And I think you have those 2 types of people everywhere. The people who are kind of disappointed that the winter's ending and the people who are wigging out because the winter's ending and it's spring and it's been sunny days and 50 and 60 degrees and 65 degrees in some places. And those people I don't totally understand because I can understand you liking spring, the nice weather. I get it. But at the same time, you live here and you live in the Northeast. You know we have winter. So how can you live in a place but be so excited for winter to end? I don't know. We'll figure that out one day. But here we are talking about how we all feel. We'll talk about that first. I didn't even get out this summer, but I am a little bummed out about it. I would have liked to see the winter extend, especially after such a good start here. Actually, all across the country, man. At the beginning of the ski season, mountains were opening up really early. Like we had a few in the United States and even a few in Canada, I think, that opened up earlier than they ever had before. And it gave everybody this big burst of excitement. We were all excited to see it. Even those, like I wasn't able to get out on the hill this year, through trying to physical rehab myself. I didn't get out this year. And, but I was still excited. I was excited every day. I was like, look at this. The snow is falling pre-Thanksgiving. It's going to be great. And, even for places like, I will admit to you that I do notice, and I did see it, do understand it, that some of those places were opening like a trail or half a trail. And I get that, but it was still something. It was still open. And then it all started just, kind of steamrolling for a little bit there. And then all of a sudden it just plateaued. And here in the East, again, specifically the Northeast, Northeast and New England, we have now seen it plateau, and we're starting to see the downside. Places are starting to see the bare spots. Places are starting to rely only on snowmaking when it can be cold enough to do it. Whaleback Mountain, shout out to them, the closest ski mountain to the Ski Rex Media headquarters. Yesterday, Sunday, the 9th, was their last day of the season. So 2019-2020 is over for them. And I think, once you see one, you know that the rest are going to follow. We're all bummed out. We all would have liked to see it go longer. We just would. We know that. It's just like summer people who are on that last beach day down there. We used to see that when I lived near the Jersey Shore. Not on the Jersey Shore, but near the Jersey Shore. We used to see that every year. People would just get bummed out. Like, oh, well, here's, Labor Day weekend. And, Tuesday the kids start school. And then that's it. Summer's over. Is it Labor Day weekend? I always get them backwards. And you think at my age, I would know them by now. But we see it. But then for those of us who like, winter sports, it's like the summer's over. That's awesome. Let's get through Halloween and get the snow on the ground. And this year it just didn't happen. And it's a double bummer this year, I think, because the past 2 seasons were just ridiculous. I'm still getting memories on my personal Facebook that I put up this week, 1 and 2 years ago, foot of snow, 2 feet of snow, whatever it might have been, in the same area I live now. Only one town over, just on the other side of the river in New Hampshire, yes, but it's still, I can see it from here, still in the same area, and there's nothing out there. There's what's out there right now. If I look out the window into this rainy day, it's the big, dirty, plowed up piles of snow that just, if you build a snowman out of it, if you could chip it away, it's mostly like hardened ice crap right now, but if you could chip that away and build a snowman, it would look like a zombie snowman all jacked up and fucking weird and shit. So winter essentially is over, but the ski season isn't over yet, even here. Places in, like I said, it's all over New England and the Northeast and the East. You're going to start seeing places start to announce their closing days. And I think unofficial networks even did an article, I haven't checked it yet, I haven't read it yet, about Colorado starting to get their closing day announcements up too. So, it's going to come to an end quick. With such an early opening, it's going to, that was awesome. It's going to come to a quick end. Now, what does that mean for all of us? What are we going to do now? Are we going to just sit and be depressed about it? Skiers and snowboarders and other winter sports enthusiasts? No. Now is the time for planning ahead. What we're going to do. And there's 3 things we can look at. 3 different types of planning ahead we can do. At least for here, as the season, I'm pretty sure you're going to see the season just slowly end, just pushing, starting in the East and the Northeast and just pushing across, the United States. I mean, that's typical, right? And then it is what it is, So as we start closing up over here in the Northeast, I think we should look to the future, as in how to extend our season. That's one of the first things we're going to talk about. The first out of the 3 things we can look forward to is extending the season the best that we can. Now, to do that, we have a couple different things we can do. Here, we could just push across, us Easterners could push to the west, and we can start skiing in the Rocky Mountains and the Sierras and up in the PNW, and that's great, and we can follow them until their seasons end, and we can do that. Utah, Wyoming, places that still have snow, that are going to have snow for a little while longer into April. Like, we'll still have some places here open until April, absolutely. But it's not going to be deep into April, I don't think. I think we might get April Fools, and then that might be it. So we here in the East can push across to meet up with our friends in the West. And let that hold out, through April into May, maybe. Who knows? I definitely don't think we're going to see a lot of July 4th parties on the mountain this year. I could be wrong, though. We could get a big hit out of nowhere. We don't know. But I don't think we're going to see a lot of July 4th parties this year on the hill, but that's okay too. What we will see, though, speaking of summer, is the summer places starting to open up. I'm pretty sure Mount Hood is going to be able to do something this year. What is that one in Montana that I always forget the name of? Look it up. It's not Big Sky. It's the other one. Hold on. Let me go look that up real quick. Let me look it up. Beartooth Basin. Now, why I can't ever remember that offhand is beyond me. I think it's the bees, because I know it's not I know it's not Big Sky in Montana. Everybody knows about Big Sky in Montana, and that's I feel that's the first one that comes to mind when you talk about Montana, and that bee throws me off, because I know it's not that one. I know it's not Big Sky, but I do know that it begins with a B, right? So, to continue what I was saying, we can push further into the season. Again, the West and the East can go out to the West. Rocky Mountains, Sierras, PNW, into Beartooth Basin as well in Montana, Mount Hood, to be a little bit more specific. We can start to do that, and then their locals can actually do it as well, obviously, because they're local, and then they can push higher and higher into the high elevations where the snow might be, but that's not going to last us forever. I mean, and we can also push up to like Whistler, shout out to our Canadian brothers and sisters up there in British Columbia. We could push up to there for some summer skiing and riding, absolutely. But it's not going to last forever. dependent upon, because that kind of thing also depends on, your travel budget, your skill set and so on. And we know that, but basically you could do those things. And if you have a really good travel budget, you can leave the continent. As the summer's picking up here, the winter starts down there in, in Australia, New Zealand, South America, wherever you want to go, Chile, Argentina, South Africa, those places, if we can go there maybe and extend the season even further. And I know there's people that do that anyway. There's people who don't stop skiing, and not just professionals. Like, we all know that professionals sometimes have to, go to the Southern Hemisphere to keep training, to keep their shit together while, during or what we would consider the off season. But we can do that too as regular people, regular skiers, regular snowboarders. And we can, make that season. We can follow the snow for as long as we can until it comes back around. But not all of us can do that. Not all of us have a super travel budget. Not all of us have the skill set, for the places that need a skill set. Some of that stuff in the summer is lift operated, and sure. But not all of it. Not everybody has that skill set. But this year, this will be the first summer that we here in the United States and North America have an indoor ski facility. Big Snow down in New Jersey at the Meadowlands, home of the Giants. Do the Giants still play there? I think they do. I think the Jets do too. I don't know. I'm not the biggest football fan. But we can go down there. We can now take it inside. And that's what we can do. So the first group we were talking about is the people who can and will and want to push their season, extend it. And this is kind of an offshoot of that, because obviously it's different because it's indoor skiing, and I won't hate on it until I try it. But we can take it indoors now without going to Europe or Asia, where they have a lot of indoor ski facilities. We now have one of our own here. And I know does no good for people on the West Coast unless they have, again, a travel budget and can come to New Jersey, and I mean, New Jersey's not far from me. So we can plan a trip inside and check that out. $50, couple hours, could be kind of awesome. And if all goes well, there's been talk in the community, some publicly, some a little privately, talking about doing a Ski Rex Media, #shameless plug, a Ski Rex Media Day at Big Snow during the summer. So that could be kind of awesome. Keep an eye out for that. I'm still doing the research. I have emails to send out this week. I have some things I have to look up, have to do some pricing, have to check a few things out to see what we can do and what I can do to make that happen. So keep an eye out for the Ski Rex Media Day at Big Snow American Dream, and we'll see if that actually becomes a reality, not a dream. We'll see what we can do. But shameless plug aside, it is an option to now take it inside. And that's another good way to keep your, as we change to spring, and instead of getting depressed about the snow melting, we can go find the stuff indoors, check that out. And like I said, extend our season to the place that can keep it open outdoors through the summer in the United States, the higher elevations, the place that specializes in this, glacier skiing and snowboarding, that kind of thing. But what if we use it for downtime instead? What are we going to do? Well, obviously what we should do is start planning our summer accordingly. What sports do we do? Do we stay in the mountains? Get on the mountain bikes? Get out on the hiking trails? I have the Appalachian Trail right over here. Just a few miles north. And I can go do the Appalachian Trail and take it all the way down to, I can start it, the start of the Vermont section of the Appalachian Trail over here at the New Hampshire border is less than 10 miles away. Maybe it's about 10 miles away. And I can take that all the way to the Mass border if I want. People love to hike. It's also a good way to keep yourself in shape. Summer and fall is a great way to stay in shape for next season, but we'll get to that in a moment. That's what we can use summer for. Do you like playing ultimate frisbee, throwing a frisbee around? I do. Do you like road tripping? I do. I don't know if I'm going to go on many. I do have one planned that may or may not be long or not so long. It might actually end up in a flight, which I'm not happy about, but I'll deal with it. You know what I mean? But that's something else we can do as skiers and snowboarders. If we can accept that it's okay to have some downtime, some off time, the off season, as we can call it, that it's okay. And we can do stuff for the summer. Skateboarding, obviously is a big thing. If you're into action sports, sometimes skiing and snowboarding are classified as action sports. And they can be, obviously. So if you're into, skateboards, that could be your next thing. Bikes, road and mountain. I think I was never a great mountain biker, so I don't think I'm going to get back into that. But I'm thinking about going out on the road, not anywhere near to be a pro or even an amateur or even have a great bike. I'm going to take my $50 bike, get it back into a better working order, and then just take it out on the roads. That'll be fine. What else? Like I said, frisbee, basketball, you name it. Use the summer. Not only, you have to fill time somehow. And for those who have children who are out of school, you got to fill time with them somehow. Take a vacation, do a road trip. You know what to do, and then try and stay in shape for the next season. And that's the last part of. That's the third thing we can do as we watch, the season end. We can plan for next season's beginning. Now, is it too early to do that? Absolutely not. There's passes right now. There's mountains selling their mountain-specific passes. Icon's already selling, for next season. I don't know if Epic is, but I wouldn't be surprised. We can start planning. Get out your maps. While you're on your road trip, say, if I go this way and then take this turn, I could be on a mountain. I'll remember that for the season. And we can start planning for the next season. That's where the exercise thing came into play. We definitely have to take care of ourselves. We definitely have to be in physical shape, physical condition to do it, which I am not for a lot of reasons. And we know Tim was on the old DL this season, but next season he's making a comeback. And if that Big Snow America thing happens, it starts in the summer. But let's take it to next season. What are we going to do for next season? That's what we can do now is buy our passes. We can buy, whatever we need to do. Start looking at maps. Start doing the research. Get ready for the next season because we don't know. We had 2018, 2019 was a ridiculous winter. 2019, 2020, not so much. 2021, it could go either way. It really could. And we can, except when we get into the next season, guys, I'm going to have to try to remember this too because I got excited. Like I said earlier, I was excited that the season got off to such an early start. Just snow dropping everywhere way early. And that's it, man. It's going to be friggin' fantastic. It's going to be awesome. And it's always awesome. I'm not going to make that joke in case there's kids who listen to this, but there's no such thing as a bad ski season. It's just a short ski season. Let's look at it that way. That's a bit more positive. And if any of the adults want to know what I was going to say, you can email Ski Rex Media or you can go on social media and ask. All down the description. Hashtag shameless plug. Now, does any of that matter to me? Yes. I'm going to start. Obviously, I'm going to do my summer routines, but I am going to start planning for next season because next season will be likely my grand return to the stage. And I have to get I'm afraid. I'm afraid. Not afraid to do it. I'm just afraid of what I'll look like. It's going to be embarrassing. I'm going to look like a day one person again, I think. And it's a little rough for me because I skied, level 3. Easy level 3. Maybe not level 4. Maybe. I don't know. Depending on the day. In any case, I'm going to start planning for next season. And not only just for myself, because I do plan on getting out there, but for Ski Rex Media. Now, we're talking about doing the summer day at American Dream, Big Snow American Dream. But I'm also thinking about doing the tour, touring Vermont's mountains. And I'll get more into detail on that later, but because I live here and because I grew up here and I know the area and I have friends and stuff, believe me, just doing a Vermont tour makes the margin of error so much bigger. There's a lot I could screw up on that tour and be 100% fine and not trapped. Where if I try to tour the country, A, that would take a lot of money, but B, if you've ever been broke down or anything of the like or had a hitch in a road trip, it can be a pain in the ass. I'm lessening that pain in the ass by sticking to Vermont. And there's plenty of mountains for here between Mount Snow and Jay Peak. And, I'm not going to just do the Route 100 run. I want to do them all. So keep an eye out for that too, and we'll see what's going to go on from there. And then maybe I can get out to other places, New Hampshire, Maine, out into New York, down into PA, kind of do things. We're going to play those kind of things for Ski Rex Media by ear. Because they need funding and they need planning and a few other things. And, again, I have to work on that stuff, see what I can get done here. Ski Rex Media is still new, still small. And I like that it's small, but it does present some disadvantages. And two, like I said, we don't know what the season holds. Next season could be worse. Next season could be the Ice Age. And nobody's going anywhere. We don't know. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I suggest to you. I feel that if you can extend your season, great, and absolutely do so. And the people who are doing that do that typically anyway. If you're going to change, go into the off season and change, switch to your summer routines, that's awesome too. Stay in shape, get outside, do what you can, wear your sunblock. I'm going to do those things. Obviously, I'm not going to extend my season, but I am going to do my usual summer thing. And then I'm already planning for next year. What am I going to do? Which pass am I going to get? Where am I going to be? How much skiing and snowboarding am I going to be able to do? I don't know why I said snowboarding because I'm not good at that. I might try it again for a goof, but I'm not going to do that. So that's my suggestion to all of you is just start planning for next season, especially if you're really depressed about this season ending. And some of us are. If you look at the interaction on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, it's like, man, what a bummer. Summer's coming down to an end, and not everybody can, extend their season by traveling, be it in North America or going to a different continent. Europe, as the season closed down, again, you go up to higher mountains, the season's going to go longer, or switching hemispheres when the time comes for that. Not everybody can do that, and not everybody can get to the indoor facility. For like me, people in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and upstate New York and all of New England and Delaware and Maryland and Virginia and those places like that. It's a day's drive. You can make a trip out of it. You could hit the Jersey Shore one day and then ski inside the next. So my suggestion is, even if you do have an easy way to extend your season, and we all have our summer routine anyway, let's start planning for next season. Let's look ahead to next season and not be depressed by this, because I know it's raining outside that window right now, but I don't let it bother me. I try to look at this stuff in the most positive way possible. I try to live my life as a positive person these days. Try to be as positive as I can, and it doesn't always work. I know that, you know that, it doesn't always work, but let's try and let's plan for next season. And let's look out for these Ski Rex Media trips and events and this kind of thing. This episode, what am I at? 25 minutes, and I think I've done like 5 shameless plugs. That's what this episode really became. But I don't want you to be depressed for spring. Get your spring skiing in, because it's going to be nice, and we are going to make it till April. Not everyone is going to make it to April, and they're probably not going to make it deep into April, but they're going to try. If you're in a place that makes it into May, great. If you're in a place that opens up into summer, like I said, Beartooth Basin, Mount Hood, Whistler, that has summer skiing and riding, even better. If you could take the flights, if you could take the trips, awesome. Do it. Extend that season. And if you can't, let's get out there this summer, get those bodies working, do whatever sport. There is the big push that what is it called? There's a group, a Facebook group even. It has something to do with using inline skating as a summer training tool. Now, will I talk about that? I don't know, because again, like snowboarding, inline skating is something I've never really gotten the hang of. And it's one of those sports that I've actually broken bones doing. I broke a bone doing. So I'm kind of hesitant to try it again. I think I'll just work on my cardio and then my muscle tone. I think that would be better for me. So what do you say, kids? Let's not be depressed. Let the seasons change, because we have no choice, but we do have choices about what we do about it. And those choices were obviously extending the season, getting ready for summer and spring and summer and using those seasons and fall, and, getting ready for next season. And it's going to be awesome. Let's look at it as, yeah, this season may have been short. It may have been rough, but it had some great days, and some came out of nowhere, which is typical for any given winter. So enjoy what you can. We'll look forward to next year. I'll be back next week, though, just because the mountains are closing down. Doesn't mean Ski Rex Media is going anywhere. I will say, though, I do my Vermont overview video every weekend. And I don't think I'm going to be doing those much longer. There might be 4 more, and then it's really just going to be what's happening at Killington for those last couple weekends until they close. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be positive. We're going to look forward to next season. Again, thank you guys for jumping in on the merch. I love it, and I love you. And follow Ski Rex Media on all the places in the description. I don't have to list them anymore, I don't think, and I don't have to direct you to where they are. Actually, I'll do that anyway. They're in the description. So if you're listening to this in the car, wait until you get out of the car. If you're watching this at home, just flip on down to the description. Check it out. Interact with Ski Rex Media. You know, while I'm saying it, let's do some more questions. The Q&A thing amped up, and then it kind of died. I have to plug it some more, and I did find some other questions that I kind of lost, but I found them, so we might be able to get a few more videos out of that. What do you say? Tim from Ski Rex Media, I hope you enjoyed this one. Again, I'm just trying to keep you positive in this episode and tell you that, yeah, spring is right around the bend, and we're just going to have to live with it. Okay? Have a good day, have a good week, have a good weekend, have a good spring. I'll talk to you next weekend or next week, and I'll see you out there as soon as I can, maybe sometime this summer. Big snow, American dream. Ski Rex Media, this is Tim. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Later.